we have gone through 3 sessions out of 5. First one was identifying divine guide, where we saw about Guru, the person from whom we take spiritual knowledge. We have to identify the genuinity of a Guru. The person who presents the knowledge has to be according to the criteria which is originally propounded by Vedic knowledge. We saw that in modern times people have lost this knowledge of who is genuine and who is not genuine. And in the name of spirituality, anybody and everybody comes up because there is no systematic education. Just like we gave example of a neurosurgeon. Neurosurgeon cannot just become without any proper, system. Similarly, spiritual knowledge has proper system. And the starting point of spirituality is Guru. Without proper Guru, one will be diverted from original path. And it's Guru Sadhu Shastra. These three have to match. So we saw how what is proper Shastra, who is proper authentic Guru, what is Guru Shishya Sampradaya, what are the symptoms of a Guru, and how you can separate a genuine Guru from a fake Guru. Like we saw, he doesn't charge anything. He's not doing it for money. He's detached from all material pursuits. He's free from all anartha, like lust, greed, anger. We saw 26 qualities. Then we saw what is the spirit with which we approach him. In 2 topics, spirit of the Bhagavad Gita, when we approach spiritual knowledge, spiritual science like the Bhagavad Gita, the approach should be devotion, not dry speculation or challenging spirit. And as a qualification of a disciple, we saw tadviddi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninah tattvadarshina. One has to humbly surrender to the spiritual master, receive instructions from him, serve him, and have proper inquiry, not absurd inquiry. Inquiry which uplifts one to spiritual platform. We also had seen that spiritual knowledge is meant to give spiritual master is meant to give spiritual knowledge, and one should not expect all problems of life to be solved by spiritual master. He is not meant for that. He is not meant to be a doctor. Generally, we see spirituality, we seek solutions for our day-to-day life, and we don't want to transcend the day-to-day life. We want to be in that life, and at the same time get, we don't wish any reversals in life. So, therefore, we have to understand spiritual knowledge without any preconceived notions. And those preconceived notions about what is spiritual and what is not spiritual can actually delay our process of seeking proper spiritual knowledge. We saw this in an example, if you remember. A Mridanga teacher. A person goes with his learning, so-called learning, but the teacher knows that whatever he has done is all wrong, and it is going to be difficult for him to remove that wrong. And then, so therefore, it is better to be clean slate when we approach a bona fide spiritual master. Once we are sure a person is bona fide spiritual master, we should be clean slate in front of him. Why? Because most of the knowledge that we have may be coming from so many different sources which are not really genuine, and we might have lived a long amount of life having faith in those hodgepodge things. Srila Prabhupada sometimes used to say that today's Hindu community or Hindus is nothing but some hodgepodge principles. They don't have any solid foundation. If you ask a Hindu today, uninformed, most of them uninformed, you ask them, is there any single book for spirituality in Hindu religion? Nobody will be able to tell. But a proper trained spiritualist will be able to immediately answer that it is the Bhagavad Gita. And he will be able to give the, like we saw that the Bhagavad Gita was accepted unanimously by all authorities of Vedic knowledge, all proper authorities. So what a Hindu hodgepodge will tell, he will say, "Nahi, there are so many paths, there are so many religions, and there are many gods, and you have God at every nook and corner, painted with red color, uh, below a tree or on the walkway, pathway, and near a well or beneath a holy tree. You have so many gods, and wherever people put a big, stone and put some flowers on it, immediately people start coming and worshipping it. There is no. This is called uh, whatever mind tells people do. It doesn't have any basis, any foundation. Of course, I am not denying that everything is incorrect. I'm not saying everything is incorrect. There may be some history, local history, some local deity, some people might have got faith through certain observations. That is all right. But it doesn't mean that that is all in all. So, therefore, we saw that establishment of what is a scripture, what is foundational principle of spirituality, where is it given, who is the proper person from whom we can learn it, and how we should approach. So, after all this, we come to now a deeper exploration of our journey of life. Ultimately, why did we discuss all of this is because we are discussing about our own life. We want deeper, correct scientific answers to what is happening with us in our life. What are our conceptions about ourself? What is our conception about our life? Conception about who is the controller? Conception about what is ultimate purpose? All these are answered in our spiritual knowledge. So, what is this journey of life for everyone? For me, what is the journey of life? And probably what is afterlife? So, this journey is called as reincarnation. So, today we are going to see it in little detailed manner. We saw in the Discover Yourself also this particular verse we saw Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara prapti dhiras tatra na muhyati means a soul dehi means a soul dehino asmin within this body dehi kaumaram yauvanam jara just like kumar means child. Yauvanam means youth, and Jara means an old age person. Just like a person sees a transition from childhood to youth, from youth to old age, similarly, a soul passes away from one body to another body, and a very sober person is not bewildered by such a change. So now we want to experience this verse within our own life. What is that traveling from boyhood to youth, from youth to old age, and from old age to the next body? What is that journey? Soul is on a journey. Hmm? Yes, through a process of time and the impact of time on nature around us. So we want to seek a detailed experience and realization. Where is the soul heading to? Where am I heading to ultimately? Where am I going through a journey? When when you have, say, holidays, you go for a journey, you have answer where you are going. Probably some people are there, they don't have any answer, they have a lot of money, they have a lot of time, and they will go anywhere and everywhere. But generally, at least may not be while locking the room or door of our home, we are going out and we are locking, and still we are not decided where we are going. But when we sit in our car and then we have to take left or right, then we decide. Ultimately, we have to decide where are we heading to. Similarly, in life, a sober person thinks about this: where am I going? When he comes in touch with a genuine spiritual master, because he awakens such a inquisitiveness. That vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya. Pariprashnena means there are questions and answers. So the questions are, obviously a spiritualist will ask, what is the goal of your life ultimately? Everywhere this question is asked. When we see a small child, we ask him, what do you want to become in life? It's a very natural question. So, would we like to go travel to a picnic? The spot is very horrible, and we are suffering throughout our way and journey, and ultimately we land up in such a troublesome situation that it's very difficult to come back to our normal life. Will we go to such a place? Like, does someone go to Pakistan for a picnic? No, no one will go to a horrible place. Everyone wants not only their destination to be happy destination, but also their journey to be happy. Sometimes you may take up hard journey. There are very less facilities like good roads or good connectivity or good hotels on the way. You may go through a very rough uh, journey, but your anticipation is you will land up in a very cool place, very nice, happy place, isn't it? So is it same when we are traveling through the Kaumaram Yauvanam Jara? Do we plan our journey when we go to a far place for picnic? Yes, we plan where we are going, and we have milestones from here to here this much time. If it is some 20-30 hours, we will first decide, I will go to airport, or I will go to a railway station, from this station to that station, and then there I will stay for some 4 hours, 5 hours. I will spend my night there because I can't travel so much, or there is no connecting, something like that. So we plan where we will, how will we ride the journey, what vehicle, how much time it will take, what food arrangement is there, where will we stay, and what all picnic spots we will cover. We have all these plans for even transient picnics journey. Similarly, do we plan it for our own journey of soul? Hardly anyone thinks in this direction, because all of us are quite unaware of journey of soul, because we don't think we are soul, we think we are bodies. So we are planning about bodily picnics and not soul's reincarnation picnic. Hmm. So indeed, one of the lectures I was hearing, not exactly lectures, Gaurang Prabhu, Gaurang Prabhu, very famous. He actually was invited to some tourism, this thing, tourism conference or something. There, he said many people were asking, "You are a sadhu. What you have to do with tourism?" And he said, "Why? Actually, a sadhu is a real tourist, because he is traveling not on bodily plane, but he is traveling on the plane of soul, and he can teach spirituality, which is, a journey to perfection." That is, we are going to cover it in evolving towards perfection in the next this thing. But today we have to see whether we are traveling in a very desirable manner, or are we experiencing a troublesome ride or a joyful, joyous ride of life. If we think deeply, we should understand this, that from birth to young age or little bit of adulthood, the journey sometimes may be little joyous ride, because your energies are better, your brain power is working, your memory is working, and you are supported by your father and mother and your relatives and maybe so many systems. Most of the years of our childhood we are supported financially, in every aspect. But then as we grow, we become independent, we have our own family, then we have to struggle, start our hard struggle starts. And that hard struggle, finally what happens? Diseases, and death. So that part of life, is it a very joyous ride? For ignorant it may be, but for a thoughtful person it may be. Why it should be there? He may feel it's undesirable. Some people are so helpless. It's called tamogun. Tamogun means mode of ignorance. There are three kinds of people according to the Bhagavad Gita. People in the mode of goodness, mode of passion, mode of ignorance. Prominently. It's mixture of everything. But prominently in mode of ignorance means he doesn't have any knowledge. He's just like a pig in a gutter, and doesn't think about whether he is in a good situation or not. He just lives the life. So that kind of tamoguna actually prevents one from thinking about whether I am going in a positive direction, whether I want to get rid of miseries of life. But a mode of goodness, a sattvic person, he thinks about how can I achieve a better place, better standard of life, better quality of happiness. Hmm? Mode of goodness is characterized by two: knowledge and happiness. Satvat sanjayate jnanam. Jnanam means knowledge. Sattva increases knowledge. So reincarnation is a serious study for somebody who seeks knowledge, who is in mode of goodness. So we think if it is a journey, then why do we become morose or unhappy on death? Suppose I am going to Mumbai, I take a Ola or Uber taxi from here to station or bus stand, and then I leave that vehicle and get a new vehicle, a railway or a bus. Do I start crying about leaving that taxi and riding the bus? Reincarnation means exactly this thing for us. He leaves the previous body and takes up new body. Then why do we suffer at the time of death? Somebody else's death or our own death? It is described in scriptures that a person who dies becomes really unhappy. Really, it's a terrible experience. So, if we are souls and we accept theoretically that yes, we are traveling through these bodies which are all always changing, then why should we become unhappy at the time of death? It's a question. And then, uh, why do we, we decide what would be our next vehicle? Can we decide like that for our existence? No, no. Correct. That is the purpose. Facing this journey and deciding what is, how can we, how can we get into a better situation, better vehicle. So this science is largely unexplored. We are going to see it today. Of course, we had touched upon the concept of reincarnation in device when we were discussing soul. But today we see it from the perspective of scientific faith, because we have to have that strong faith, and the strong faith would come by the explanation that we are going to see. Strong faith will be established. uh, we'll try to make sense out of it in more logical way. Like, it didn't strike us when I said that can we decide what is our next vehicle. It didn't strike, it was not natural, because we have not gone sufficiently within our consciousness. We have not explored it in a very healthy, faithful, kind of realized way. So in that direction we will try to see reincarnation, fact or fiction. Of course, all of us are quite convinced now about science of soul. So fiction is not largely from that theoretical understanding point of view. We are putting this title reincarnation, fact or fiction, because within our heart how much it is seen as a fact, or sunk, as you say, sunk, how much deeper we have understood it. If we have not understood it quite deeper, then it's a fictitious concept for us. Even for our own reincarnation, it's a fictitious concept. So although we have experienced, probably we have never thought over it very healthily, deeply. So today we will explore it in a profound personal experience. Hmm? Yes, of course. Because we as a spirit soul, when we think of self realization and God realization go hand in hand. And self realization is separation of our identity from bodily platform and identifying ourselves on a spiritual platform. So the reincarnation is that initial experience of detachment from bodily platform. And once we are detached from bodily platform, that's what we are going to do. That proper thinking only. We have lost even that proper thinking. If I get your question correctly, let me summarize. Your question is whether we think it deeply enough or not. The reincarnation is going to be a fact, and it is going to take us, just like if I study sufficiently whatever is the syllabus, I'll I should not worry about how much marks I will get. Something like that, isn't it? Right. That is the point. If you see the contents, you will be able to understand it. But let me again put it in an answer right away, because it is going to give a platform of need of understanding this subject matter. The thing is, most of the times, those seekers of spirituality who do not dwell sufficiently enough in their own self by proper meditation and thinking, this is of course part of Vedic learning. This is part of Bhagavad Gita. It is part of Shravanam in Bhakti Yoga. Shravanam means hearing. And in fact, Krishna started with this concept only, the Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin. Dehinosmin yataha dehe. Wherein says what you leave behind and what you take to the next. The second chapter is a lot of verses are about science of soul and reincarnation. Dehinosmin yatha dehe is one, the opening verse. Okay. So, what I was telling is, many people do not dwell sufficiently in the concepts of he or she being a soul. They have not dwelled, they have not sufficiently gone deeper into this conception. And when the reversals of life come, their conception of self is not sufficiently developed. Still think they are and then they will lose everything. 2 days back, I was speaking with Mataji from our temple. She is coming to temple from quite a long time, and I could see from her face she appeared to be quite unhappy. And I just asked, as her brother, spiritual brother, I asked, "Are you all right? Fine?" Then she said, "No, not really." Then the discussion went on, and we could know that she has a lot of bodily troubles, diseases, problems. And then she spoke a statement which actually gave me this statement could give a little bit of understanding in this direction as to why it is important to understand. She said, "I served for so many years, but still I am unhappy." And she started crying. So I'm not blaming her, but and her situation she only knows. I may not be able to get myself into that situation and experience it. But second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita is called as Arjuna Vishadayo. No, sorry, first chapter. Second one is called Sankhya Yoga. Arjuna Vishadayo means Arjuna is unhappy. And what is the first thing that Krishna told him? You are not this body. Because he wanted to get him out of bodily conception of life where all miseries are there. So first thing to start was knowledge of spirit soul and its reincarnation. Because he says, for example, Krishna says that all these kings which are there, all of them were there in the past, they are now there, and they will be there in the future. So this is also reincarnation. They are not going to die forever. If this battle is not like somebody is killed in battle, then he is gone forever. This is repeated many times. Avinashitu tad vidhi yena sarvamidam tatah vinashah avyayasya naiva kartum arhasi. So like that, he gives so many verses where soul reincarnation, soul reincarnation. Hato va prapsesi swargam jitva va bhokshase bhai. So like that, one has to come to a higher level of understanding of soul. And bodily diseases can make one very unhappy. The bodily consciousness is very, very, very difficult to overcome. And therefore, a pragmatic, systematic, step by step exploration and increase in faith is required. Mahabharata has a very nice analogy. It says that a hot iron sphere, spherical shape, sphere, big, तोप में डालते थे ना वो iron. So if it is hot, red hot, and you put it in a tank of water, the water will become hot because this iron thing is hot. Similarly, a mind creates a lot of diseases. So mind can create diseases, mind can remove diseases. It's mental state of a deceased person that can drag him down or take him up. So therefore, we have to go deeper into who we are, and the reincarnation studies help us in that. It is a conscious experience. So contains what is reincarnation, views of scientists and philosophers, scientific proof for reincarnation, a real case history of reincarnation. If we have lived before, why don't we remember it? We'll go deeper into it. Views of different religions, relevance of reincarnation in our life. The lives of King Bharat. So we will try to cover this in whatever time is remaining. What is reincarnation? A process by which a soul transmigrates from one body to another is known as reincarnation. Simple. So my question is, have you got the experience of going transmigrating from one body to another body? You don't have? Do you have experience of transmigration from one body to another body? No. Really?
Initially, it's from the way get birth from the one body to another body.
Hmm.
We get a body from our mother. So it is, I think it's a replica of the, it's like a shadow we have. It's quite similar, but we are not sure that it is same.
Correct. The experience of reincarnation is not probably meditated upon by us. That's why we are saying that I have not experienced reincarnation. We have all experienced reincarnation. We are experiencing reincarnation. This probably was shown to you. Correct. Correct. Yes, yes, perfectly said. But conscious experience. Ha, correct. So we have to understand it, how this reincarnation is happening, so that we see it that it is happening. We see, I'm saying we see that it is happening with me. So, was this discussed in device? This slide? Hmm?
Yes.
Huh? May not be the way it is presented here. Huh? Uh-huh. Correct, correct. We'll again go to this. Bhagavad Gita speaks about God's energies. In 7th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, this verse comes. Bhumirapo analo vayu kham mano buddhirevacha ahankara iti yamme vidna prakriti ashtadha. There are 8 constituent elements of my energy, which is called as um, Prakriti, inferior material nature. It has Bhumi, earth, water, air, fire, ether. Bhumi, Apah, Anala, Vayu, Kham. These are 5 gross elements: earth, water, air, fire, ether. There is Sukshma Sharir or subtle energy, which is consisting of mind, intelligence, and false ego. This is clear. Do we have anything to do with this? Is it related to me? Is it related to me? Is it related to you? How?
Possibly the five elements that our body is made of that five elements. And the second is describe that if you want to connect with the spiritual world, then these are the
Subtle ego.
how can we identify who in the device they just explain
Okay.
the mind what is intelligence
Huh.
and the false ego. This is the most biggest impediments of to connect is from your program.
Correct. Correct.
So it is connect.
Correct. Anybody else has anything to say about this? How is it related to us?
This is us.
This is us. This is we.
And the body or
Bodily platform. Bodily platform, this is I. Sense of I. The false ego that you were saying is sense of I. Who am I? Yeah. When we wake up in the morning, what all concepts start within our head about our own selves? Who am I?
like all ego isn't good.
No, false ego is deliberate, intentional, and
Any kind of ego is perfect.
no.
It's a bondage.
No, from Bhakti tradition or Vedic this thing, Guru Shishya Parampara point of view, these are two different things. But ego is not entirely implied to be bad thing.
1 second, I will just
Ego is just sense of I.
right? I will read and there's a philosopher called Android.
Hmm.
Our entire philosophy depends on
Hmm.
but it's from I would say ego.
Hmm.
Ego is the drive for everything.
Hmm.
If a person doesn't have ego, he's not a person at all.
Hmm.
Let's talk about philosophy and everything. The material achievements he talks about it. And like I have spiritual world of our country goes against the feelings. So I was wondering if we are writing false ego uses to understand that there will be a good ego also.
Yes, it is there. In fact,
The concept is there. I thought it is only ego.
no. Ego has both sides. In fact, we learn it from 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita that there is this material world starts from Urdhvamula Adhashaka tree, and the Urdhvamula Adhashaka tree is a Prakshepatmika. Prakshepatmika Shakti of spiritual energy. That we are going to explain on the other side. So Prakshepatmika means Prakshepanastra means what? You Prakshepan means you throw and it goes somewhere. So whatever is thrown as a reality in material world is thrown from its spiritual base. So the material world is just a reflection of spiritual world. So if there is personality in material world, there is also personality in spiritual world. And personality in material world is governed by false ego. Personality in spiritual world is governed by ego. So
Like somebody else interprets there.
that's why Bhagavad Gita is quite neutral about these conceptions because it takes us to a certain level. But beyond that, certain details are required. So, in that perspective, when we go across these philosophies of Dvaita, all these Siddhanta, then we get different explanations of ego. So, Bhakti philosophy says that a Bhakta has a ego. Hanuman has ego that he is Lord Ram's servant, and he cannot take up a role in Krishna's pastimes probably because he has ego of Ram's servant. But that ego is not.
That's the bondage. That's what is stopping him from getting total.
No, it's not a bondage. When you see, no. Hey, Hanuman has a no. This is not Sattva bondage. This is beyond transcendental bondage. It's like you can't change your mother. Otherwise, your love towards mother is not properly situated. So, can you say you are egoistic? That's why you are loving your mother only, and you can't you can't say she is mother, she is mother.
I think they will do their, I don't know their say now, but they will do the extent I have
No, material conception it is different. What is spiritual? Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sato. What is eternal never dies or ends, and what is temporary has no factual existence. So, if you have a relationship which can stop, like Hanuman can stop loving Lord Ram for some time and start loving Lord Krishna. He leaves Lord Ram and goes to Lord Krishna. Then can we call it an eternal relationship? It is ahaituki apratihata. It's not that Krishna is Purna Purushottam Bhagwan in all rasas. So a devotee of Lord Ram will jump over from Lord Ram's devotion to Lord Krishna's devotion.
I didn't get it.
Okay.
I couldn't make it between Ram and Krishna.
Lord Narsingadev is eternal form of Lord, ever existing. Can gopis dance with Lord Narsingh? There is a mood of an incarnation of God. That mood is separate, and there are unlimited moods, unlimited fulfillments of that mood, unlimited rasa in every incarnation of God. So Lord Narsingadev has a rasa. He is like, when you see in a movie, there is a lot of torture being done on a hero or anybody from the side of hero. People want that वो जो बदमाश है ना विलन उसको इतना मारना चाहिए, इतना मारना चाहिए, इतना ऐसा बजाना चाहिए. तो that is a rasa, that is a mood, that रस is there in the incarnation of Lord Narsingadev. मेरे प्रहलाद को ऐसा हिरण्यकशिपु ने किया, सब फाड़ के पूरा उसका आंत निकाल के ऐसा पहनूंगा. But gopis cannot have a conjugal loving relationship because it needs a different mood, a different set, different setup. The same hero may be fighting, but the moods are separate. When he is fighting with the villain, a romantic song may appear to be rasabhas. So that way, although they are same, they have, movie has, temporary existence, but these rasas in their original form are there in eternal lok of Lord. So there is unlimited fulfillment and satisfaction within only one rasa, even if that rasa may not be encompassing every incarnation of God, may not be covering it. So I hope little bit of reflection, thought on ego I could put. That ego is not undesirable ego. That ego is perfect ego, an eternal ego. Eternally, this is my mother. Yashoda Mai is my mother, eternal. Krishna says.
I understood rightly. The Brahman also has the ego part, which is a good ego.
But where is it situated? Whether it is in the inferior material energy or spiritual energy?
If we put that in that those concepts, two different standpoints, then we
Different existences altogether. One is like dream existence, the other one is like a factual existence. So there is a factual eternal mother for everyone in spiritual world. That's why there is a mother who is temporary in material world. But mother in temporary material world is a relationship based on false ego. But the mother in spiritual world is not based on false ego, and it's not transient. It's eternal. Getting my point? That's why that is not false ego, it is proper ego. And there is also possibility that you don't have any relationship either in this or that world. That is called impersonal liberation. I am just part and parcel. So there are rasa. This rasa shastra is a very elaborate topic. There are rasas. Uh, there is rasa of neutrality. There is rasa of friendship. There is rasa of motherly affection. There is rasa of conjugal loving relationships. So all these rasa are there in spiritual world, and they are characterized by eternal nature of living being. A living being has an eternal nature. हम बोलते हैं ना स्वभाव स्वभाव दुरतिक्रमः means you cannot atikrama means you cannot cross beyond your swabhav. Person doesn't change his swabhav normally in his life, but in his life that swabhav is coming from a sukshma sharir, and that continues for a quite long time relatively. But ultimately we also have an eternal swabhav, and that is called as swabhavo adhyatma muchyate. That swabhav is adhyatma. Adhyatma means eternal nature, and that eternal nature of a living entity is his eternal ego. He is like that. So of course, the way you were saying it is binding that person to a particular incarnation and a particular rasa, that is a kind of bondage. But one can observe that a single devotee like Hanuman also takes part in various incarnations, in various capacities, in various egos. That competence is also there in spiritual life. So Hanuman also uh, uh, takes incarnation, not in false ego zone, but in the other side. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared 500 years back, 530 years back, Hanumanji also appeared in that Leela. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Lord Ram himself for him. But now with Lord Chaitanya, he is acting in a very different mood. It doesn't stop him from being eternally servant of Lord Ram. He can take part in other incarnations, this thing, pastimes also. That is also there. So it's not binding as such. It's a joy and it's unlimited. There are unlimited possibilities. But when they act in that ego, right ego, spiritual ego, they act perfectly. And there is eternity associated with that mood. So, in fact, as Krishna can incarnate, his devotees also can incarnate in various. Like we hear, this particular devotee was Narad Muni in that incarnation. Now, in this incarnation, he is become this. Like that, we hear so many times. Ha, that is, but that is material thing is different. So you got this point. This is related to us. This we have two natures. In short, one nature is inferior material energy, which is made up of gross and subtle elements. Gross elements are this body, earth, water, air, fire, ether. This nature. Sukshma sharir is I have a mind, I have intelligence, I have false ego, conception. The thing which we wake up in the morning and we start meditating. Oh, I have to go to office. I have to cook. I have to take care of my children. I have to take care of my parents. I have to go to shop and bring this sabji and all. All these egoistic activities start. They are from the point of view of bodily existence. Sukshma Sharira is Mana, Buddhi, and Mithya Ahankar. Mind, intelligence, and false ego. The superior spiritual energy is Satchitananda, eternity, bliss, and knowledge. This is our spiritual body. So we have I am spiritual, I have a spiritual body, but now I am going through a journey, a bodily journey. In that bodily journey, I have a Sukshma Sharir, a subtle body made up of mind, intelligence, false ego, and I have a gross body. This gross body is for this lifetime, and I change my gross body, I change my subtle body, I can never change my soul. I am so what doesn't change is soul, what changes is inferior material energy. So now let us see it in this slide. Have you seen this slide earlier? No. So we are spirit soul. We are put into a subtle body, and we have a gross body. Now, in our current situation, are you able to see these three? Just close your eyes and meditate. I have a gross body made up of earth, water, air, fire, ether. Can you trace that body? You can trace. Now, subtle body. Can you trace? I have a mind. Can you trace? I have discriminative intelligence which tells me what is right and what is wrong. Can you trace your intelligence? Yes. Now, can you trace the false ego? I am working in such and such office, in such and such role and capability. Can you relate to that? Yes. Can you trace? You are a father, you are a mother. Can you trace? Are you able to find out? Is there anybody who is not able to trace it? Hmm. Now, the experience of reincarnation that we want to trace. Anything that I see, I see. Now I am seeing this mic. I am able to see it because it is not me. Please get this point. I am able to see this laptop because this laptop is not me. I am separate, this laptop is separate. So, are you seeing your body? I am seeing my body in this recording. Are you seeing your body in mirror every day? So, you are seeing body. Closing your eyes, can you see your body? Why? Do you see only by gross eyes, these eyes, or you can see your you remember your best photograph? Do you remember? Closing eye, you can see your body in that photograph. It's you are able to see that separate from yourself. Or okay, let us go within our own body itself now itself. This is finger. I am able to see this finger. How can I see this finger? Because eyes are separate from fingers. I say I have a finger. Do I say I am a finger? I have hand. I am seeing my hand. I have hand. Do I say I am hand? I have legs. I have legs. Am I legs? I am legs? No. Am I eyes? I have eyes. Getting the point. Eyes are not you. You have eyes. It may happen that you may lose your eyes, but you still are there after losing eyes. So you are not your eyes. You are not your hands because your eyes are seeing your hands. Now you are seeing your eyes separate from you. नहीं समझ में आ रहा है? समझ गए है ना?
There is something
Beyond which is able to separate it from yourself.
is saying that
Yes.
I
Huh. Yes, I have eyes. I this you could relate. I am not finger. I have finger. Similarly, I have eyes. I have ears. Uh, people who can't hear, they lose life or what? They continue with their life. I have a tongue. I have a sense of smell. I have nose. I have a skin. I have. That means I am not. I have body. I am not body. How much of this we really practice every day when we are actually realizing spirit, soul, or spirituality? Now, I gave example of a deceased body and suffering on account of that deceased body, and it's hurting. And the person is hurting to the extent that that person is questioning the service to God now. That I have served for so many years, still I am suffering. Who is suffering? Body is suffering. Body is suffering. Body is going to get old aged. Body is going to get diseased. Body is going to die. Did Krishna say in the Bhagavad Gita that you will not have bodily disease? Where is it written? In fact, Krishna has said, Matra sparshastu kaunteya shitoshna sukha dukkhadaha agamapayino nityah tamstitikshasu bharata. Matra sparshastu. Matra means objects of senses. Sparsha means touch. When senses come in contact with sense objects, at that time, Shita, Ushna, Sukha, Dukkha comes. So, science of soul, if it is understood very well in the beginning itself, Krishna has instructed Tam Stitikshasva, you should tolerate. Krishna has not said, I will cure it when you chant my holy names. He has not said this. He said, tolerate this. Because without that tolerating them, how can you disassociate yourself from them? It's a punishment and external kind of क्या बोलते बळजबरी बळजबरीने तुम्हाला ते त्याच्यामध्ये टाकले कारण तुम्हाला कळावं की तुम्ही हे नाहीये ही त्रासदायक आहे हा 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 युअर बॉडी इज अ bondage, as he said. It's a bondage. It's a bondage on you. And you want to get relieved from birth, old age, disease, death. First thing is you should understand you are not this body. So exactly this is reincarnation conception. So Krishna is saying now you understand. One thing is you are seeing something that means that you are not that thing. You are seeing something that means it is different than you. Same with subtle body. Can you tell me how you can see mind as separate from yourself?
Many mindless people are.
There are many mindless people. Their mind is absent. It doesn't have any thinking, feeling, willing. What are the symptoms of mind? Thinking. There are people who do not think. Feeling, they do not feel anything. Willing, they don't have any willingness. Mad people you have seen on streets, they don't exhibit anything like that. How you can experience that mind is separate from you? You are not mind. How can you experience? I told you, I have finger, I am not finger. I have body, I am not body. How do you understand I have mind, I am not mind? Simple. It's not that difficult. My mind is happy today. My mind is happy today. We misidentify with our mind. Therefore, we say I am happy or I am unhappy. Just like body. If somebody slaps our body, we say he slapped me. No, he slapped your body. Boss scolded you heavily in your office. You can't sleep whole night. For days together you are disturbed. But boss scolded your role in or your office, not you. If you are attached to that role and you are misidentifying yourself that you are that and that's all, then you will carry that role throughout your life, everywhere. If you forget coming to home, you forget your office identity completely. Because now you are at home, you are father, mother, or you are husband, wife. You forget office totally, completely. You will forget misery of you getting scolded by your boss. So it is disassociation from your false identities.
Like maybe very dear ones we have lost some time back. For a period of time, I don't even remember that.
Correct.
If I were in mind, I should be remembering all those.
Correct, correct. So mind is not me. So let us stop saying I am unhappy. I am unhappy. I am stressed. I am in difficulty. I am in trouble. I am very happy also. You have to take both sides of the coin, not one side. So, do you work throughout your life for your mind and your senses in current state of our consciousness? We work for our body and mind. But when we work for soul, then we automatically disassociate. So that disassociation is experienced through two processes: internal reincarnation and external reincarnation. Please hear carefully. This is going to relieve you. You are going to get lot closer to your real self by understanding this. One thing I hope you understood: you are not body, because you can separate yourself from your body. Similarly, you are separate from your mind and intelligence. Do you see you have discrimination? Sometimes we get scolding from our teachers. डोका आहे का ठिकाणावर? Your mother, our father. You understand Marathi, all of you. बुद्धि काम कर रही है कि नहीं तेरी? बोलते हैं ना. Sometimes we also feel, पता नहीं क्या हुआ था, मेरा दिमाग ही नहीं चला. मेरा दिमाग नहीं चला. मैं नहीं चला नहीं बोलते हम लोग. So I am separate. I am seeing intelligence. Sometimes we think I am thinking too much. Now I can't bear it. मेरा दिमाग फूट जाएगा अभी. Let me be calm and peaceful. I don't want to think about it. Don't talk about this with me for some time. I don't want that topic. I don't want to think about it. I want to just forget it. Where do you do this thinking, feeling, willing, and discrimination? In the faculty of subtle body. And since we have misidentified ourselves with subtle body and gross body, which is the function of false ego, our soul has totally forgotten who he is. We have forgotten who we are. Because false ego is the conception of me for us. Mithya ahankar. Not I will add, it's all coming from scriptural teachings. Mithya ahankar, false ego. Janasya mohoyam aham mameti. Correct. That antakaran also is a reflection of spiritual antakaran, which has real ego. Because it is prakshepatmika. The soul is thrown, prakshepan kiya uska, material world. So whatever he had has a reflection there, which is temporary, like moon's reflection on water, projection. Moon is reflecting on water. Water starts shaking, and then moon appears to be disturbed. So that disturbance is all false ego. But the moon is there always. And moon is there means ego is there. False ego is that moon which is shaking up. Getting my point? This is discussed in Srimad Bhagavatam 3rd canto. Vidur discusses it with Maitreya Muni. Very nicely explained this part. So you got now what is internal reincarnation and external reincarnation. Internal reincarnation is Dehino asmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara. This is internal reincarnation. Within one lifetime, a person goes from boyhood to youth, from youth to old age. Internal reincarnation is within the same lifetime. So let us now understand, have we gone through internal reincarnation? Is it difficult to understand? Not at all. So do you have a conscious experience of reincarnation? Every day, every now and then. If, yes, every day we experience. है मेरे घर में भी वेइंग मशीन है एवरी डे वी चेक ज्यादा फैट तो नहीं हो रहा. The last 2 months I have increased my weight by 500 grams. I become alert. So that is reincarnation of body, bodily platform reincarnation. My body changing. If somebody who saw you in childhood sees you now and he has not seen you throughout, what he will say naturally? You have changed so much. I could not have recognized you if we would have met somewhere else. Sometimes it happens you can't even recognize your own old friend after 10-15 years because he has gone through reincarnation of body. Body is completely transformed. Do you remember your childhood? You see your childhood photographs, you see your 5 years back photographs, you see your photographs now. This is incarnation seen, internal incarnation that can be seen. So reincarnation is a fact which could be observed, internal reincarnation. This is reincarnation of body. It is said if somebody is having a healthy lifestyle, his body will become healthy. So he reincarnates into a healthy body. Just like there are those books you can run through, flip books or something. Fast you can run through them and you see the object is moving. Exactly that is happening with us. We are not noticing because we are not able to see it in a quick time frame. But at the time of death, the scriptures explain that you see your lifetime, all lifetime activities, everything you see like a fast forward movie. Because we are actually going through internal reincarnation. This is on gross bodily platform. Now, mental platform. Are you still acting like a child today? Do you ask for balloons to play with? No, because you are not having a childish mind. Your mind is now changed. And intelligence, your intelligence is changing. You train your intelligence today, tomorrow it changes. You can find yourself in a better academic position tomorrow if you are studying and giving input to your intelligence and processing capabilities. So that is one more internal reincarnation that we can experience. Mind is stressed. After some time, mind becomes relaxed. This is reincarnation of mind, change of mind. It is always changing. So the nature which is always changing is called as material nature. The nature which is not changing is called as spiritual nature. We are what? Always changing or non-changing? Non-changing. So what is changing is not me. What is not changing is me. Now come to false ego. What is false ego? My conceptions of body and bodily roles or mental intellectual roles. What is your false ego today? Where are you working? Huh? Stock markets. So if you change your professions from stock market to something else, your false ego will change. Yes, you were student, 10th class students. So that 10th class student is your identity, but it is changed now. So false ego is changing. So you are reincarnating on false ego. You fight with your wife like anything, and she is so disturbed, she gives you a divorce. You are no longer husband of her. Your false ego is gone. That false, it is, this identity can change, it is temporary, it was not there, it became you, and then it again gone, it's gone now. So therefore it is, false ego is also changing. So this change we can observe because we are the same, we are not changing. I is same. So that I is soul. And now when your body drastically changes by falling down, death, then it is external reincarnation. Krishna is saying one knows that he is going through the change of boyhood, youth, old age. Similarly, he is saying, he is giving analogy to make us understand what is external reincarnation. All of us have experience of internal reincarnation. You were saying no. Now you are saying yes. You have, but you have never noted it down, or it was not probably understood that way. Now you understand you are reincarnating. So that reincarnation within the same body is called internal. Krishna is saying similarly you understand that you will reincarnate in a new body because your old body will no longer be useful to you. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णानि अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Dehi means one who is residing in the body, just like he gives up old torn clothes. वासांसि जीर्णानि, जीर्ण हुए हुए कपड़े जब त्याग देते हैं, वैसे ही we leave old body. Navani grinati naroparani. Naraha means people in general. How they throw away old clothes and take up new clothes. Similarly, soul throws away old bodies and takes up new bodies. Dhira tatra na muhyati means one who is sober, he is not bewildered by such a change. It's just, I throw away my old cloth and take up new cloth. We become happy. Do we become unhappy by wearing new clothes? Everybody becomes happy. Similarly, when birth takes place, everybody becomes happy because he has got a new body. Old age body, who wants? Disease, death, who wants? New body is happiness. So therefore, this is similarly, Krishna says, external reincarnation happens. So external reincarnation is a fact which will be experienced. Now, how do we take birth? We'll quickly go through. What happens? What process happens? Birth means what process happens? It says in Srimad Bhagavatam, Karmana Daiva Netrena Jantur Dehu Upapattaye Striya Pravishta Udaram Pumso Reta Kanashraya. Karmana Daiva Netrena Jantuhu Dehu Upapattaye. This is Deha, gross body. Karmana Daiva Netrena. Jantuhu means Jiva, living being. Deha means this body, gross body. Upapattaya means gets. How it is created? Striyaha pravishta udaram pumso reta kanashraya. Means by combination of a male and female, when they combine, this body is created. Within the womb of mother, a new body is created. This is that gross body. Within that gross body, subtle body comes from old life. Old body, subtle body comes. And soul is traveling, sitting in that subtle body. Subtle body carries the soul from one gross body to another gross body. Shrotram chakshuh sparshanam cha rasanam granam eva cha adhisthaya manaschayam vishayanupasevate. This is the way by which a living being enjoys a gross living, gross body. How? he is given a particular kind of shrotram capability, ear, chakshu, eyes, shrotra, sparshanam, sense of touch, rasanam, sense of taste, jivha, granam, sense of smell or a nose. These all are, these all senses are surrounded around adhisthaya manaschayam. Mind is in charge of all those senses. Mind is in charge of those senses. So, manaschaya vishayan upasevate. When the mind uses these senses, then he gets different tastes of material life. So, we have a taste for eating something. I like sweet, you like hot, pungent, you like sour. You like to hear Western songs, I like to hear spiritual songs. So I get a particular kind of hearing by my mind. That mind is using those senses. So the mind is that blue one. hmm, Gross body senses that mind is using. What is the proof that mind is using senses? And senses are not independent to enjoy. Correct. So taste in a particular sense object is because of that sense, gross sense, or because of mind? Mind. Otherwise, same sweet thing will be liked by everybody. It is disliked by somebody and liked by, and there is degree also, how much liking. And there is variety in sweets also. I like these kinds of sweets, but these kinds of sweets I don't like.
Maybe we say the same.
Correct.
We don't like.
Correct. Or you are in some horrifying situation, you are in complete distress, you can't enjoy senses. Ha, upasevati. Correct, correct. And if you say that mana is separately used here, then ayam refers to false ego.
No. Ayam Vishayan, ayam
Upasevate. So Vishayan, ayam, upasevate.
Ayam not aham. Ayam is he.
That's what. Ayam means he, but that he is referring to false identity on bodily platform. Yes, I am enjoying, he says. Na? I enjoy sweets. But with the faculty of mind and senses, he enjoys. I am. He. So that he is not really soul. Because Krishna brings out. Yes. Correct. Perfectly brought out. I am means he is enjoying by using his mind and senses. Senses the mind is using, and mind is the place where enjoyment is happening. Fine. So now, what happens at the time of death? Vasansi Jiranani, I told you, old clothes and new clothes. So this happens at the time of death. Did you notice what happened? At the time of death, this happened. Gross body is gone. And further this happens. New body comes. You remains same. That's why it is so important. Control of mind is so important. Culture is so important. Knowledge is so important. Because you are getting it to another body.
It is so important that you are coming here now because it is going to get carried.
Correct. Precisely. This spiritual knowledge that we are discussing is going in your subtle body.
It means in our previous life also we were doing something like this.
Correct. It's a journey. Right. So now the other example that I gave, mind. Mahabharata says that it is like a hot iron sphere. Now it is going to change, that sphere is going to change the temperature of water. Similarly, your subtle existence defines what kind of body you will get. Now, somebody was not so convinced when I was saying that can you decide your next body? Can you decide? Yes. Yes, because you have your mind, which is a tool for you to decide your destiny. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo.
Body will start, we will decide our subtle body. No?
Yes, because decision takes place in subtle body. Mind, intelligence, false ego, discrimination, thinking, feeling. That's why it is very important to understand who am I, step by step. We are yet to reach soul. We are reaching subtle consciousness, subtle body.
So ultimately, totally, it is the decision that we want or we get new birth. It's only
Decision. Free will, it is called.
settle
Free will. Proper use of free will. Krishna is precisely saying this. This is from Upanishad. Mana eva Amrutabindu Upanishad. Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo. Please understand what is the power of human consciousness. It can decide where it will go. All other species of life are instinctive in their journey. They are just going like a machine into other lives. Human life is a junction where you can decide where you want to go. Therefore, it is very essential that we understand what are different paths, where will we go, where we will like to go, what is our aspiration. Of course, one thing is to desire, the other thing is to deserve.
Now, it's more important.
Correct.
I can decide anything.
Correct, deserve.
So, if we can decide, then if we decide on the level of settled body that we don't want work and we want it to go to where we belong,
Then we are
exactly. So we are separated from the all these,
Correct. In fact, Srila Prabhupada was asked this question: how much time it takes to become liberated? What was Srila Prabhupada's answer? 1 minute. He said,
if we want,
if we want.
we stuck into this all these.
We want that free will. Free will is not so easy to bend down. That is false ego. That is where when we start desiring theoretically, we are like I want to become a topper in my class. I can like to, but now I have to do sadhana for it, practice for it. Desire and deserve. I have to deserve. Where is it written deserve related to birth? Karmana daiva netreni. Daiva is the force or that energy or the supreme power that decides where will he be put, where he deserves to be put.
it's not karmana.
Karmana.
That is a spiritual
Correct.
activity.
So karma has to be there. Spiritual karma. Kim karma kim akarmeti kavayo api yatra mohita. Krishna says, what is karma and what is akarma? What is correct, what is not correct? Big people also, very intelligent also get bewildered. Tatte karma pravakshami. I will tell you. Yad jnatva moksha se ashudha. By knowing which you will be delivered from all that is troublesome. That is why Bhagavad Gita is so important. It tells us how, what exactly I have to do get this, get out of birth, old age, disease, death. And why Srila Prabhupada is saying it is simple, 1 minute? Because Bhagavad Gita says, Mam upetya punarjanma dukkhalayam ashashvatam napnuvanti mahatmana sansiddhim paramagata. Once a person obtains me, he will never come back to this material world. So, how much time it takes to surrender to Krishna? It's just a matter of a minute, it is said. Minute he is giving us because you think properly and surrender. Surrender is, it can be immediately, but there is a Vakhya, definition of surrender. What is the process of surrender? It's a process. It's a gradual process of liberation from gross to subtle. Now, if you decide, yes, I want to become liberated, but I can't control my tongue because I am bound by my tongue. Now there is a process to detach myself from my tongue. Vishayanupasevate, vairagya. There is a method by which you can practice it. So day by day, when person becomes detached from his material identity, he starts to become relaxed more and more, becomes more and more happy day by day. He can experience it, whether his senses are driving him or his mind is able to control senses. So that is the process. Now, shariram yadavapnoti yachapyutkramati grihitvaitani samyati vayuhu gandha nivashaya. This is the formula of reincarnation. How one goes to another body. The aroma of incense offered to deities. Can you smell it when you enter the temple door? When you enter temple door, you can smell. Incense is offered to God, deities. Where is it offered? On the other end of the temple hall. But how it is carried to the temple hall? From by air. Vayuhu gandha vivashaya. Just like aroma or good smell, bad smell is carried over from one place to another place by the agency of air. Similarly, subtle body carries soul from one body to another body. Getting the point? Subtle body. Therefore, we have to focus on subtle development, not only bodily progress. We have to utilize body in such a way that we realize we are not body. So, why don't we remember? You have gone through this process. You have gone through. You have gone through. You have got a body in the womb of mother. Then you gradually develop and you experience internal reincarnation. So you have experienced external as well as internal reincarnation, all of you. Because birth means death must have happened. Jatasya hi dhruvo mrityu. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha. One who is dead is sure to take birth. So you are born. That means you were dead in your last life. You were dead. Then why don't you remember?
God decided that for this I am the Smriti and I am the forgetfulness.
That's happened for the right cause actually. Otherwise, it's just very hang outside.
Perfect. These two reasons are perfectly correct. Why don't we remember? Number one, he said, because Krishna has given us that facility of forgetfulness. Scriptures say that within the womb of a mother, a fortunate soul remembers his past 100 births. And then he prays intensely. It is given in Purana. It was reconfirmed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also. He prays and he promises Krishna that you have given me this human birth. Now I will not lose this opportunity. Please take me out of this condition. I am suffering like anything here. I have suffered because he gives remembrance of 100 births. It's so burdensome. Hundreds of fathers and mothers and hundreds of problems that he faced. If somebody tells you you have become engineer, now you start from junior KG again. Will you like? You will not like to go through the same thing. Same, and death is a very painful experience. If you remember your death, you are very. If you were burned by some fire, it's a terrible experience. You don't want to remember it again, and death of near dear ones around us, miseries, they make a very grave impact on our heart. So Krishna makes us forget all of this. At the time of birth, when the living being prays to God that I promise you, then Krishna tests him by giving him full forgetfulness. He cleans all of his memory. It's like cleaning this hall for reuse. Huh? Because if you have phobias of 100 lifetimes, fears of 100 lifetimes, if you have miseries of 100 lifetimes, if you remember hundreds of things from 100 lifetimes, it will be really difficult to live. So Krishna wipes it out, all that memory. So therefore, that is one reason we don't remember. Now I will ask you a question. Yesterday, what did you eat for your lunch? Remember? Remember? Everybody remembers? If last week on Saturday, what did you eat? Oh, you ate and forgot. मतलब कोई दोस्त है, some friend has invited you to his home and you took nice feast from him. बहुत अच्छा आपने enjoy करके पार्टी पूरा खाया पिया. 10 साल बाद वही दोस्त आपको मिला and you are not able to recognize him. You say how gratitudeless you are. इतना पार्टी दी and you just forgot. You don't even remember me. खाया पिया सब कुछ किया और now I will ask you, on your last birthday, what did you eat? You remember? You remember distinctly, quite distinctly. Last year's birthday, what gift was given to you by your dear one? You remember? Why do you remember? We associate importance with the events, it's our choice to forget. It's our deliberate act of remembering something makes it easily accessible in our memory. Now, within this lifetime, we can't remember even the things which we did in past week, like what did we eat. How can we remember from past life? It's very difficult. It's not so easy. In fact, there are cases, past life memories, reincarnation memories, where the impact is so powerful on that soul's mind that the mind can't forget. Therefore, maybe they may not exactly remember the sequence of events, they may remember the impact of a certain thing. So somebody is drowned in water, he will be fearful of water from this birth. Something like that. Somebody is यमदूतों ने मिलके इतना मारा, he may become fearful to do anything sinful. From childhood he is fearing sins. Somebody is not fearing sins at all. So there are symptoms by which you can understand. White twins are different. White twins have different mentality, capability, competence, skill set, thinking, their feelings, they are different. They are different personalities because the subtle body is different. So this is said in Bhagavad Gita, Utkramantam sthitam vapi bhunjanam va gunanvitam vimudha nanu pashyanti jnana chakshusha. Utkramantam means going through reincarnation. Sthitam means what is stable is reincarnation. Like what is constant is change. What is constant? What did you say? Change is the only constant. Similarly, Krishna is saying Utkramantam Sthitam means he is in reincarnation, continuously reincarnation within this body and after this body. Utkramantam Sthitam Vapi, ऐसा हो के भी वही पार्टी भी लिया, खाया पिया और भूल भी गया, उत्क्रामंतम स्थितम वापि इतना भुंजानम वा गुणान्वितम. भुंजानम मीन्स भोजन मतलब खाना, जैसे enjoying the senses. He has enjoyed, the soul has enjoyed senses in hundreds of ways throughout his lives when he was reincarnating. But Vimudha, foolish person, na anupashyanti. He can't see this. Pashyanti jnana chakshusha. But one who has the eyes of knowledge, spiritual knowledge, pashyanti, he can see. Krishna is saying, you can see that you are reincarnating. But the condition is jnana chakshusha. You should have eyes of spiritual knowledge. Then you can see. You know, there are people who predict that they are going to die and they peacefully leave the body on the same day. Lives. Of course, he is supreme person, but there are people who remember, and Krishna is saying that those are not those accidental remembrances. Krishna is saying vimudha. So it's on our part to forget or remember. If we are not developing our spiritual knowledge, eyes of scriptural knowledge, jnana chakshu, then we won't be able to see. And the precise reason why we are not able to see is we are vimudha. We are foolish. खा पी के भी हम याद नहीं रखते, सब कुछ करके भी. भगवान बोले अरे तेरे को इतनी सुंदर पत्नी दी थी, तू उसके साथ इतना पिकनिक मनाया, अभी याद भी नहीं रखा वो सब. So Krishna is saying you are gratitudeless. Of course, there is a way by which, there are techniques by which you can go back to your previous lives. There are such past life regression techniques and all. They are there. How much?
Is it scientifically true?
It's very difficult to say. That's why these principles are very, very difficult to experience.
Why we need that?
Correct. So the essence has to be understood. Krishna is giving that essence.
To change in or to find something, why it is happening in this.
They use it in medical
Medical terms. It is important.
and there are instances where certain thing from psychology was removed by regression. Certain problems were removed. And there are past life memories that haunt the person in this life, and then he wants to forget it. Then there are psychological treatments by which it can be done. And at the same time, if you forget, dementia they call it. So for that person to remember, the person has to be taken back into that situation. Then he will start remembering it. You are getting my point. So there are reincarnations stories. Probably you might have gone through in device. Reincarnation story. Shukla Gupta. She cradled a pillow, called it Minu, Minu, Minu. Correct. So, and these reincarnation memories are across all countries, nations, and everywhere, all religions also. Yatanto yoginaschaina pashyanti atmanyavasthitam yatantopi akritaatmanah nainam pashyanti achetasa. Krishna says, even if somebody tries, still, if he is not properly situated in spiritual life, he can't see. So there is a process by which we can see reincarnation happening. Yatanto yoginaha, one who is yatanto means where he is endeavoring, prayatna kar raha hai, yoginaha, he has to be yogi. Pashyanti atman, he can see how the soul is reincarnating. But on the other hand, yatanto api, even though trying, akritatmanah means one who is not situated in proper prescribed yogic practices, na inam pashyanti, he can't see how reincarnation of his own soul is happening. Why? Because achetasa, his consciousness is not developed in that direction. So indirectly, there is a yogic method of developing this consciousness of witnessing how one is separate from his body and how he is reincarnating from one body to another body. It's a process. Got it? So we'll take a break now. It's already late for a break, but